Well, when I went to Hawaii in 2007, I wanted to get a depleted uranium bill in the state legislature to help the sick veterans coming back. And I went all over Hawaii, and no one even knew there was any radioactive contamination in Hawaii. And I went on ABC TV and did a 2.5-minute news story because I had gone to Kona on the Big Island of Hawaii and measured high levels of radiation on a day that they were doing live firing at Pohakaloa Army Base, which has been a bombing and gunnery range since World War II.
Some activists claim the U.S. Army is firing depleted uranium on gunnery ranges in Hawaii, contaminating the state with radioactive fallout. They recently took Geiger counter readings downwind from Pohakaloa on the Big Island. KITV's Dick Allgaier joins us live now with details. Dick?
Hi, Jill. The U.S. Army, of course, says it does not use depleted uranium rounds when it practices in Hawaii. But one activist says she took high radiation readings, which may indicate depleted uranium, recently on the Big Island.
In order to protect the nuclear...
Loren Moret is a world-renowned expert on the subject of depleted uranium. She travels the globe giving presentations about the dangers of spreading nanoparticles of radioactive uranium through bombs and bullets.
It's not harmless. It's extremely toxic.
On April 22nd, she took Geiger counter readings in South Kona on the Big Island.
63. This is very, very alarming.
Normal background radiation would be 5 to 20 counts per minute. On this day, she says she took readings of up to 93, which experts say is abnormal and quite high.
That is horrendous. And it could only be because they were doing live fire with depleted uranium at Pohakaloa while we were doing the measurements.
Loren Moret claims the Army is using depleted uranium on the Pohakaloa firing range, and the wind is blowing radiation over South Kona. The Army insists it does not use depleted uranium in Hawaii. Dr. Lauren Pang is a public health official in Hawaii. In this interview, he says he is speaking only as a concerned physician.
Regardless of what it is from, it is high. It has to be looked at. Now, furthermore, she went around the training area, and I guess it was high downwind of the firing range, which is kind of like a smoking gun.
All of the bombing and gunnery ranges are contaminated in Hawaii with depleted uranium already.
Now, there has been a bill at the legislature that would require testing for depleted uranium near targets at Schofield Barracks. The Army would not comment on that. Again, the Army and National Guard have said DU is not used in Hawaii. Reporting from the newsroom, Dick Allgaier, KITV4, Island Television News.
And the day I drove through the base, you have to drive through the base to get from one side of the island to the other between the volcanoes. And then I went 35 miles south down the coast to a macadamia farm, and I said, gee, let's get a video camera just in case we measure some radiation, because we'd organized a radiation monitoring citizens posse, and I had people going all over the island measuring the radiation. We'd go off in cars, 6 or 8 or 12 cars, and do it together sometimes. So I ended up down on this macadamia farm. We'd bought a video camera on the way and some film. And so we're standing there on the deck looking out at the ocean and listening to the whales. And I said, gee, I'll flip my Geiger counter on now. And I almost dropped it because it went up to as high as over 90 counts per minute. And usually it's about 7. And I just about had a heart attack. So we filmed it, and I called Dick Allgaier, who is a TV anchor at ABC TV in Honolulu, and he'd heard me on the Jeff Rentz program, and he said, if you ever come to Hawaii, I'll do a story on you. So I said, Dick, I'm in Kona, and this is what I got today. And he said, did you film it? And I said, yes. He said, get on a plane and come over right now. Well, all of the Hawaiian Islands are completely radioactive from simulated nuclear bomb testing on different islands, on nuclear rockets they were launching from one of the islands. They were shooting it's called the Davy Crockett. It's actually a mini nuke. It's a shoulder nuke, but they used depleted uranium in it instead of actual nuclear weapons, because you don't want to shoot nuclear weapons where you live and off the battlefield. And so all of Oahu, which is where Honolulu is contaminated on bombing and gunnery ranges, and all along Pearl Harbor's a nuclear sewer, and the whole beaches and the coastal currents carry it past Honolulu and Waikiki and Diamond Head, so that very, very expensive area of Hawaii is all contaminated with radiation.
Well, and now they will have problems with the ocean releases from Fukushima, which when I interviewed Dr. Christopher Busby in June of 2012, he indicated to me that the contamination from Fukushima had already reached the beaches. That's not to be confused with the tsunami debris field, which is traveling north of there, and once it hits the west coast of Canada and the U.S., it will curve back around and eventually end up in Hawaii as well. Hawaii is going to have some big problems, and some of that is already showing in their coral. They have fish and turtles that are exhibiting lesions, and I've had reports from people that live there and do a lot of scuba diving that the reefs are in big trouble.
That's the Fukushima radiation, and it's, of course, as I've mentioned, radiation has a cumulative effect, and I noticed when I was going to the Hawaiian legislature every day on buses I was staying in Waikiki, and I was noticing on the buses every day going back and forth that it was the sickest population I've ever seen anywhere. People were pushing adult children with completely neuromuscular problems. They couldn't even walk. There were people getting on, dragging oxygen tanks. Everybody was walking with canes, and it was just horrible to see that. And I said, what in the world happened here? Well, I figured it out finally. The U.S. and Britain did nuclear weapons tests and biological tests and chemical tests with different weapons on Johnson Island and Christmas Island that they're less than 1,000 miles upwind to the west from Hawaii. So Hawaii was getting nuked, and it was mixed with biological agents and chemicals, and that's why so many people are sick in Hawaii already. This new exposure to Fukushima is going to have a devastating effect on the existing Hawaiian population. And quite frankly, anyone who goes to Hawaii as a tourist or for any reason is committing suicide.
Aloha, this is Joel with Simple Tech Review, and I just recently got back from a trip to Hawaii, and I thought I'd show you a sweet app that can either replace or add to your vacation guidebook. It's called Hawaii Revealed, and it's available for Android or iPhone. Now there's one of these apps for each island, but I'm going to show you the one for the big island of Hawaii proper. So let me walk you through the app and show you a few pictures from my last trip. When you open up the app, this is what you're going to see to start out with. The whole island, whatever island the app you've purchased is for. You can also turn the screen sideways so you get a more full screen view here. If you hit the top right corner, you'll see the contents, and it's always divided up by the region of the island. Just look at Hilo, for instance. The beach recommendations are awesome too. You can see they give you kind of a rating for each one, and they show you some nice photos and give you detail about each beach too. You know, it gives you the popular ones and the kind of hidden away gems too, so you can really find some nice ones like these ones we found. Once you've chosen a place you want to visit, like the Kapoho Tide Pools, scroll down to the bottom and you can save it to favorites, like dog-earing a book page. You can get directions from your current location using your phone's map program, or you can hit Map It to see where it is as a red dot on your map in the guide app here. If I was still in Hawaii, it would also show you my location as a blue dot. The Hawaii Revealed app also shows you some good places to go snorkeling and to see sea turtles. Speaking of snorkeling, if you're interested in taking photos underwater, you should definitely check out the smartphone pouches by Drycase. I was a little skeptical that it would keep the water out, but it did the job and I got some good photos too. I'll put a link to the Drycase pouch in the description below. We also really like the places they suggested to stay at, like this little hut we found out by Volcanoes National Park. Lastly, I just want to talk about the map for a second. The awesome thing about these maps is that you download them when you buy the app, so basically once you're there you don't need any cell towers for them to work. And if you click on the landmarks, you can see kind of what's in that area. For instance, here you can see the Kilauea Iki hike. Basically, the Hawaii Revealed app is super helpful as a resource on your trip, whether you use it alone or in addition to your guidebook. I found these maps to be way more helpful than Google Maps is when you're getting around the island. They've got a lot more features and they link up to all their awesome reviews. There's a bunch of categories to explore and I'm not going to go through them all, but they really do a good job with helping you find kind of the local hidden away places. So this app is well worth the $7 it costs. That's quite a bit cheaper than just buying a guidebook. I'll put links in the description below this video if you want to check out where you can get the app for Android or for Apple. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button below. That'll really help me out a lot. Thanks for watching Simple Tech Review, and we'll see you next time. Aloha.
2012 UH football season.
Rap Symphony. Up and down like a seesaw, high and low like a free fall. If we fall, then we all crawl. Me and my dog never declawed in these jaws of life that bite like pressure apply tight. Stop airing your windpipe. I know I don't live right. I'm just trying to get mine, not really trying to stress out. So I'm just trying to get high, just to get by. So even if I could die trying, with the heart of a lion and the mind of a wise man, I size man, running on the field like the Heisman. I don't need no blockers, run right through your linemen. Yes, I am Hawaiian and I am from the island where ain't nobody rhyming like I am. Ions ahead, so even when I'm dead, I still live on off of the words that I said. Whether ink or lead will be red. I'm on a track, you can catch a breath. Now everybody in the 808 stand up straight, blaze up an eighth, show an H and throw it right in their face and say, hey, hey, we gon' keep it live, cuz we gon' stay alive. Now everybody in the 808 stand up straight, blaze up an eighth, show an H and throw it right in their face and say, hey, cuz